Am I live?
Yes.
What is up, everybody? Liam and Bert here. Looks like my computer's giving me a little issues right now. To talk all things NFL Week 15 talk. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know,
Break
you're
your
on an
keyboard.
upward
Break your keyboard hitting that subscribe button.
smash it. With these picks, you might be able to reimburse a little Christmas gift to yourself. Or you can always take the strategy of fading. Anyways, we're here to talk Week 15. We're going to talk. What did I pause you say?
No, I said you'd be positive if you.
Oh,
if
yeah.
faded.
We're going to have Week 15 NFL picks. Week 15, an exciting time for those who play fantasy football. The start of the fantasy football playoffs. Underdog, the site that I actually repping an Underdog shirt here. Promo code Cheslium. Get yourself a $100 free deposit. Anyways,
Tale as old as time. Harrison and the Steelers.
I won the what's going on? Oh God, Harrison every week, man. Anyways, I won Best Ball Mania 3 or 2 last year for $1 million. This weekend, someone won $1 million on Best Ball on Underdog for the highest regular season score, and this clown is calling me out in the chess streets. He's trying.
Really?
He goes on this show and he's like, yeah. And by the way, I dabble in chess a little bit, and I think I'm a better player than Liam at chess.
Who does this guy think he is?
And so a big event that happened, if people are, aware of the creator space, I would say, is chess boxing happened over the weekend as well. That's where you alternate
1 round of boxing, 1 round of chess.
Yeah, 1 round of boxing, 1 round of chess. I personally think if I grinded that, I have what it takes to be a world champion in that. Got long limbs for my weight class, good at chess. Anyways, I wanted to play this clown for some chess boxing. Looks like he wants to play straight up chess, which, we could start there. But
so the count is 2 people challenged to fisticuffs.
Chess boxing's different, like that. Anyways. And we're trying to book this for money. This dude just won $1 million. So I don't want to give this guy. I think he's looking for his 5 seconds in the sun, or whatever, But
we have been here.
Things we won't let happen. I guarantee you a couple of things won't happen. One, I gotta know how good this guy is at chess first. Like, I'm not gonna be hustled and book some ego bet if he's like some secret grandmaster. But he wants to play for 1 to 10K. I think we can make that happen. And
let me tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to step on this kid's dreams like Adam, whatever his last name is. If he thinks that he can parlay this into internet fame, all the more to you. We've been here for.
And what a guy to call out! A dude with like 2,000 followers in me. Not a big name in the fantasy football space.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you expect, man? It's raw charisma. It's just kind of the way it goes, baby.
Got to roll with it.
And they're not threatening nobodies.
Anyways, I'm motivated, man. I'll start grinding chess. I don't know what parameters this dude wants to play. Does he want to play blitz? Does he? He's seen me play. I've streamed my chess. So gotta at least see as a count or something. Anyways, let's pull up the Week 15 bets and talk. We'll show our records and then we'll go game by game and review that. Lot of best ball talk. Let me find you, Bert.
1.2K followers on YouTube if you think you can take them in chess.
So me, 6 and 7. Okay, you can look at the units for the year, but I'm usually a quarter type of person. And clearly I'm a 4th quarter hero, with does this come in weird for you? This monitor I have?
I don't. It also switched the document to a black background, which is a little interesting. But
this is just my Twitter has.
No, but no, it was like that. I tweet. See how all the other ones are white up there? It's nice.
Oh yeah.
Contrast. I don't know. It doesn't come through as nice anymore.
Anyways, all right. Well, we'll get that fixed on the back end. fire our graphic designer, Bert. But the
Life in a startup.
Really, if you think about it, if the Bills didn't give up that safety at the end, I'm 7-6. That's
Yeah, I mean, what was really interesting about that game was it was like Army Navy in the first half. It's just punt, 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 punt. Which I don't think is really indicative of either team being bad or anything like it. It just was a slugfest type of game, and then it ended up being a pretty good game in the second half.
Let me give my thoughts. But before we jump into Bills Jets, which we'll go over in a second, let's start off with Raiders Rams. I mean, that was the best story in the NFL.
I don't know
Baker Mayfield.
Josh McDaniels needs to be, and I know they say that what's his name, the owner, Mark Davis, has money issues and can't fire the coach, but you've now lost to Jeff Saturday, who was pulled out of the booth in his first week. And you've lost to Baker Mayfield, who was cut by 2 teams in the last 12 months. So, I mean, it's just this is just a situation that the coaches do not keep their jobs losing those games. But yeah.
I mean, so Baker signs on 2 days notice. He jumps on the plane before he even is with the team, taking a leap of faith.
Yeah, there was some story with like Southwest or something like that.
Yeah, right? He jumped on Southwest. There's questions of how much he would play, who would play, comes in, leads comes back.
Well, they didn't start him, which I thought was interesting. And then
did not start him. So this is why wins are not a quarterback stat. He did not even get a win. It's not like,
Yeah, but that's is like a rare situation.
Oh, it's not a quarterback stat strictly. But anyways, egregious by the Raiders, and they deserve to lose. I tweeted this out. Their cowardice makes them deserve to lose because Davante Adams could not be stopped against Jalen Ramsey, and all the good teams passed the win. And the Raiders
in this game.
The Raiders were like, you know what? We need to get Josh Jacobs going at 3 yards a clip with his pinky broken. Josh Jacobs goes to the tunnel, getting X-rays, and they're like, nope, put him back in there. We got to rush him 50 times this game. If they threw to Davante Adams, they would have won, and now their season's over. Where, honestly, I think things would have broken favorably for them if they were 6-7 right now.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically, obviously not over, but yes, in all likelihood.
Yeah, mathematically no, but it's over. All right, let's get.
There's only 2 teams mathematically eliminated right now, and that's Chicago and Houston.
Yeah, whatever, crazy math. So Bills Jets, I think it's a sign where, in past spots like this, Buffalo early in the year was just like passing and basically taking risks that I'm a fan of. In this game, it looked like they said, look, Mike White is not moving the ball in our defense. We're going to score more. And so they had a 4th and 2 from their own 50. They punted. That's usually a go for it spot for Buffalo. But I think it's also a sign that, because they had a couple of fluky losses and where, they probably could have squatted on a lead or whatever, but it's probably a sign they might take the gas off a little bit more, or maybe it was just because it was Mike White and against
Mike White. I think you got to be thrilled if you're a Jets fan.
No, Mike White looked good.
And I'm just like, and also, he's being plowed into the earth. I mean, the fact he was coming in, Joe Flacco was coming in.
He took the biggest legal hit
hit where it's like his it looks like his belly button touches his spinal cord.
Yes.
Like
Matt Milano, like all in an all-pro discussion, just lays the wood into the. That guy is. He's everywhere.
He's like a Nakobe Dean. He's my favorite type of defensive player. It plays in the second level, kind of can drop in coverage, and
he's a good cover.
Stops the run, comes over the top. It's almost like a Troy Polamalu type of play, but a little bit stockier and plays like further up.
Probably.
Those
not
are like my favorite defensive players in the NFL. Like those guys are.
Yeah, I mean, and he took a discount to be in Buffalo, so that's a good sign. But the Jets. I personally think the Chargers are going to get that 7th spot. They have a pretty favorable schedule. They're finally healthy, but hey, crazy shit happens in the NFL. Like, that game last night, what a gut I almost wanted to turn the game off right away. Kyler goes down.
Yeah.
Within.
Well, we were texting about it, and it was just like you see non-contact, and you just feel for players like that. I mean, I obviously was a Patriots or am a Patriots fan, and was saying on the chat like, "Hey, it sucks what happened to him, but if we don't win here, then like Bill really might be done." So it's a good thing.
I think you guys would have gotten destroyed by Kyler. Those type of quarterbacks are the Patriots' Achilles heels.
Tuck rule game, different things change, and maybe we get to the playoffs now, because I think we go 2-2, we probably get in. 3-1, we obviously get, or like we have a very good shot at getting in. I mean,
I don't know. I think it's the Chargers. Lions are real. I think if you are a fan of the NFL, you should be rooting for the Lions to get that playoff spot over a boring Giants team.
He's the best, man. Dan Campbell.
What?
So Dan Campbell's so fun. Like,
dude, he's so fun. And
fake punts from his 26 on 4th and medium. Like, everything saying not to go for it.
I mean, if you look up some of these losses the Lions had too, they okay, so the Patriots was a bad one, Cowboys was a bad one, Dolphins they almost had.
The Eagles is their most impressive. 38-35.
So then they almost beat the Bills. They destroy the Jags. They destroy the Vikes. And honestly, I think this is a 4-0 type schedule for them. This is a playoff game, Lions versus Jets this week for both teams, which is fun. Playoff, and then the Lions should be able to destroy the Panthers, the Bears. And the Packers' Achilles heel is they can't stop the run. And the Lions have a great O-line.
The Bears is a win. Like, they are throwing the rest of their season, I think.
The Bears could win, like Justin Fields.
No, I'm saying like they're going to throw the rest of their season. I don't think they're winning another game for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, they the Lions, they're just, they're hot right now. Ravens, Steelers, nothing to say here. Ravens down to their third string quarterback. I think the Bengals are clearly going to take the 3 seed in the NFL.
What's the prognosis on Lamar? Like, what is he supposed to
probably
be?
Next week.
Okay. And I don't know. I mean, he's so dynamic, but yeah.
Bengals are great, and the Browns are terrible. Deshaun, another.
Yeah, Deshaun just, I mean, they left him hanging around. He looked a lot better than he did last week, I guess, but it's just one of those situations that nobody wants to see him do well, and so it kind of stacks up bigger and bigger every time that they have a 3-and-out, whatever. Like, we paid this guy what, $230 million, whatever. Like, it's not gonna be pretty for him. I think he will be amazing again, but it is obviously.
I don't know.
Right
He's got to learn how to deal with cover 2, and maybe he won't. The Jeff Driscoll game we almost got for the Texans. If people that have watched this channel a lot and play best ball, Jeff Driscoll came from Bert's mouth. He was joking. He watched a preseason game.
Okay, this whole thing of like, oh, we're not. Of course, I was joking, but it was just like, oh, if we're gonna talk tight ends or QBs that are tight ends, like there's another guy that is doing.
No, you just. I thought you were making a joke. I watched it back in the link, and
yeah, and I was. You were like, he's out of the league, right? And I was like, no, he's on a team.
You go, I want Taysom Hill. I want Jeff Driscoll, and then I would go, Jeff Driscoll. And so, that just shows you got to be chaotic in these large field tournaments. A little Jeff Driscoll comes in your ear. He was drafted 4 times in the contest.
It's important to be diversified,
But hey,
if somebody took T.Y. Hilton, who knows? Maybe he has an incredible, 4-game.
I mean, that's just such a I thought Will.
Can you even draft players that are like in it? Because he wasn't active.
Yeah, no, you can draft like Andrew Luck still, I think,
or like Odell. Yeah.
The Cowboys signing T.Y. Hilton is like, I guess Will Fuller is truly dead. Like, he is gone. Goodbye.
Well, I think it more says that they're probably done with the Odell flirtation.
Well, you know what? what would be sharp because the Bills also brought back Cole Beasley and John Brown.
Oh no, I
which
saw that came out of.
I think it's mostly insurance, personally, but it could, maybe the Cole is healthy or something. I
Do
don't
you know how hard it is?
But anyways, I think to close that thought, I think it could be them both trying to like play really like cheap hardball with Odell being like, look, we'll sign. I'm okay sticking with 40-year-old T.Y. Hilton, and then Odell like trying to make Odell sweat and be like, fuck, because I think Odell is trying to not run any. Like he's not like working out for the teams, and they're like, we're not gonna pay you if you don't work out. But anyways, this Cowboys Texans game.
What was the Bills had to have sent like a SWAT team in to pry Cole Beasley out of that, anti-vax cave that he's probably living in, like with a bunch of canned goods.
Cole Beasley's easy to clown on, and I think like someone tweeted at Cole Beasley like, "You anti-vax idiot," and then one of the Bills players retweeted it and was like, "He's our anti-vax
idiot." Which Bills player was it?
Isaiah McKenzie.
Oh, that's great.
But anyways, this Texans Cowboys game, that's an any given Sunday type game to me. Just like, these are still NFL players. I didn't watch the game. Maybe Jeff Driscoll gave them something, truly, like through touchdown. Dameon Pierce got hurt. A brutal week for injuries.
Yeah, just left him hanging around. But, I don't think anybody thought even.
How do you not give Jeff Driscoll the ball at the goal line?
Yeah, well, that was like a weird fourth down call. A lot of people are saying that they were just not trying to win, which is probably true because they're the one pick right now. But
Eagles just showing that the Giants are not like they're the most like one and done playoff team ever if they make it.
Yeah, it's just, poor Giants fans, man. And can you imagine starting or like not having expectations for your team and starting 7-1 or whatever they did and just not winning a game for the rest of the year?
I think
pretty brutal.
Giants fans that can see the big picture got to be stoked for the future.
No, totally. But there is something to say. Like, you really thought you had a chance at like a playoff game, and it's looking like you're probably gonna fall out because I think the Lions and the Washington football team or Washington Commanders are those are the two guys that like should get in.
Like the Commander, like the tie apparently really helped the Commanders.
Yeah, unless New York wins, I think, and then their second meeting, then it's
Anyways, Jags, Titans. Trevor played great. I think the Jaguars making the playoffs over the Titans would be fun for the NFL. Titans are boring, but
so Trevor Lawrence in his last 5 games, I saw this, somebody posted it, is 275 yards, let's say about that, 276 or something like that. 275-yard average, 10 touchdowns, 0 picks. And to me, you have a guy that does that over 5 games. It's either, lightning in a bottle or you probably have your franchise quarterback. So if you're a Jags fan, got to feel good about that.
And they get Calvin Ridley next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're doing it with like a bare bones wide receiver crew. Like it's worlds better than what like the Patriots are trying out.
Are all up arrows. Like it's a good time to be a Jags fan. If only they had that defense from 2018, that would be a sick team.
Chiefs Broncos, another any given Sunday type game. And when the Broncos want to play motivated on D, they can. Mahomes threw a ton of picks in this game.
Well, I think they went up 27-0.
Yeah, and then they started to run just like like this is a lesson for some teams. They think they can squat. Like Russell gets hurt. That's unfortunate. He was playing well, actually.
Yeah, just toying with their food. Like they start messing around, and then Russ goes out with that. And I think this was the first time all year they had back-to-back offensive touchdowns. Just the Broncos are just in one of these crazy stat years where it's never going to look good with the talent that they have on that team.
Yeah. That would have been big for the Bills, 1 seed chances. A Broncos lost there, but Bills should still win out. Panthers being the Seahawks. I mean, the
Panthers might get in. Panthers,
who
like,
people,
it's not impossible.
Panthers, who people thought was the worst team in the NFL, and just cut a winning quarterback, are very live to get in. Insanity.
Yeah. I mean, it's and yeah, I think we're starting to see Geno maybe revert back a little bit, come back down from what was a truly amazing.
Seahawks didn't have Ken Walker this game. I think that's a difference maker for them.
Sure. Yeah.
He's like their Derrick Henry or whatever. What else do I want to say about that? Oh, I crunched I went to some simulator and I plugged in the Lions winning their next 4 and had them at 87% to make the playoffs if they win their next 4.
Yeah.
So, Bucks got destroyed by the 49ers. Brock Purdy looks good, man. He looks better than Jimmy G.
I mean, it's a
Debo
is he the next Brady, like late round QB that goes and wins a bunch of Super Bowls? Who knows?
I mean, he's mobile. Which their O-line is like not the best in the world. So
huge break for them on Debo not being done. Like, for fantasy folks, I know it doesn't matter, but for fans of the team, like,
having the Debo CMC combo is a cheat code for a game manager. Chargers, huge win for them, and Tua and the Dolphins they've built a team that will destroy a bad defense. I've been saying this. They will destroy Houston. They will destroy Chicago. They will score a lot on the Lions. Tua's been awful against good defenses. And more importantly, teams are doing the same things against the Dolphins in the past couple losses. They are playing press man against the wide receivers, and it's not working.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting about the Dolphins here is that it's always the worst thing to ever hear that, like, your quarterback is hurt, or might be hurt, and that's why they're playing badly. Because it's either your season is probably not going to end up as glorious as you thought it would, or they're just that bad, and that's where I think we're trying to figure out with Tua here. So I hope that they are kind of falling off here because we got them in a couple weeks. And need that win pretty bad. But at the same time, who knows? Maybe they come back out and go crazy to wrap the season up.
Marcel, he's the ESPN coverer for the Dolphins, used to cover the Bills. If you take out their explosive touchdowns of 75, 45, and 60 yards over the past 2 weeks, the Dolphins are averaging 3.8 yards per play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Jalen Waddle is not he's not really working that well. So we'll see on the Dolphins.
Is Tua just going to be this guy for the rest of his career? Like, is he that good? I don't know, but he's like kind of starting here and there.
You can't evaluate any statue with Tyreek Hill because it's Tyreek Hill. Like, Tyreek Hill scores on a fumble.
Dude, I don't even consider Tua a statue, but maybe I should. Because he doesn't run. I saw like he was down to like 3 rushing attempts.
He is a statue. That's the thing, is like,
because in college he was just considered so mobile, dual threat type of guy. So yeah, 3 rushes. I was saying.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he could probably do it more, but he's not a big dude. He's not built to take hits.
Well, and he's also like so injury prone since that hip. But yeah.
And then I mean, I think the Cards would have won that game. Patriots technically alive. I think the Patriots are going to struggle to win against the better teams. So,
yeah, well, they got the Raiders this week, which I think if they take care of business in these 2 games, and including, I'm saying Cardinals, Raiders, and then all they have to do is 1 and 2 in the last 3 games of the season, and they've got a pretty good shot. And then if you
are awfully quiet about the Chargers too, man. What do you think about them now that they're fully healthy? Easy for the Chargers to say the Chargers look bad when Justin Herbert's ribs are cracked. They didn't have Mike Williams. They didn't have Keenan Allen.
We just said the Dolphins look awful, and they beat them by a score. They lost that game at the end. So I still think the Chargers, in games that they need to win or have to have, like, it would not surprise me at all if they're competing for a wild card spot last week of the year and they managed to lose this Denver game. That is in their DNA.
How do you got them over these next 4? This is a 4-0 type schedule to me.
Yeah, they're probably a 2-2 team this. Because I'm saying talent wise they should be 4-0, but that coach of theirs is a moron.
3 of them, worse than 3-1 is just hard to see. Like I guess I could buy Derrick Henry going for like 400 yards, even though he's not.
Yeah, the Titans are interesting too. I mean, they're just kind of teetering on, are they just going to be bad for the rest of the year? I mean, maybe if they come out and like kick the teeth in on the Titans, then maybe they've turned a corner. But if it's
they do well that the Titans do terrible. They pass well.
Exactly. I mean, everything is there that they should kick that team's ass.
The Colts.
But I think that we're going to be looking at it next week being like, oh my God, they lost in overtime. How did that happen?
It would require JT getting hurt. I think Mike Williams is just a difference maker, man. He's an elite guy. He doesn't do.
I love Mike Williams. I love their players, man. I think that they are seriously hindered by that coach.
All right. Well, let's jump into it. Or any closing thoughts you got, Bert?
No, I mean it's just December football, best time of year, man. So fun. We've got some Christmas Eve games this year. It's gonna be great. Yeah. Patriots got flexed out of prime time this week. They're supposed to have their 4th primetime game in a row against the Raiders, and I think I said that last week on the show. Like, there's no shot that they're.
I'm gonna do a peek ahead. Okay. I was wondering what the line was gonna be in that Raiders game. Pick them right now. Okay.
You're doing a peek at your peek ahead isn't done in prep.
Looking at this live may shock you. Seahawks or 49ers at Seahawks, Bert. 49ers minus 3.5 on the road. How do you got it?
Niners look incredible, right? And the Seahawks, I think, are kind of coming back down to earth. Not playing well these last couple weeks. I think you got to believe that San Francisco is going to start making a divisional push here, even with the loss of Jimmy G. And maybe it might even be a good thing for him because this Purdy kid looks pretty good. So I like that minus 3.5 here.
Yeah, I don't know how you pick against the Niners where, they're a team with a great defense. And I think the Seahawks, to me, this like plus 3.5 is indicative to me that like Ken Walker is going to play, which is great. I think he's like truly a difference maker. But although Geno and DK and Lockett have been amazing, can they do it with the pass rush they're going to face? And I mean, the other question is like, how are the Niners going to operate without Debo? I'm hoping CMC is enough, so I'm going to pick the Niners too.
Well, and just Brandon Ayuk is so good that
he's good, but he's not like he's not been implemented quite the same. And I would guess that they have to get Kittle finally more involved. Maybe they play more 2 tight end sets, and the other guy blocks, and Kittle runs more routes. Which Kittle's not that big a drop off from Debo.
I was going to say Kittle's just been interesting because since their Super Bowl year, he just hasn't had that type of. At least this is my impression. He hasn't had like that Kelsey statistical season that like we thought that he was capable of. So we know that's in him, but I think he's just been kind of banged up.
I think that a lot of that has to do with Shanahan's scheme because he's.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
And his worst, like statistical asset is that he's such a good blocker.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Him and Gronk, right? They love to block.
Yeah, but the Patriots weren't running the ball as much as the Niners.
Yeah. No, it's all death by 1,000 cuts type offense. And then Gronk up the seam. But yeah.
Colts.
I'd do anything to have that back in my life.
Colts at Vikings. Colts +4. This is a insane person line. I
thought last week was crazy with. Oh, I'm sorry, it's you.
Yeah. I picked the Lions because I legitimately thought the Lions were better, and I thought I know if you look at the stats and just looking at the Vikings are a lucky team, and that's why I didn't believe in them at 10-2, but only getting -4 against the Colts, where I'm sure there's some like defensive injuries I'm not aware of on the Vikings, but
Well, the defense is terrible.
Their defense is terrible, but the way they're terrible.
Well, didn't they didn't have?
It's like,
did they not have,
is Matt Ryan going to be able to hit Alec Pierce over the top? Maybe, I guess.
Am I making this up, or did they not have Harrison Smith last week?
The Vikings?
Yeah.
I don't know. They haven't had their left tackle for a while, which has been killing them.
Yeah, I thought.
Give me the Vikings -4. It's just like I've seen Matt Ryan be a pumpkin of infinity times this year. Matt Ryan is retiring next year. Jeff Saturday is dumb, and so unless JT goes insanity, which if you're the Colts franchise, it's not exactly intelligent to end the year by just adding a ton of extra run to your running back who has a short life cycle when you're dead. But I wouldn't say Jeff Saturday is going to make the smartest calls. But give me the Vikings -4.
Yeah, I was. Has there ever been a more Kirk Cousins is going to have a great game spot than this, where
Kirk's playing great?
No, but what I'm saying is they lose a game they really shouldn't to a lower opponent based on their record, to a lower opponent.
But they're not the record, is what I'm saying. You're
looking.
Oh,
no, I agree. But there are certain quarterbacks that would not happen with. So they lose that game, even in a spot, and they don't cover either. In a spot that they are not favored, and then Indy's coming in with a coach that got. I say it all the time. Got pulled out of the TV booth, and I would not be surprised if Kirk just gets some great stats here and tears this Indy team up. So yeah, Vikings -4. I think feels obvious, but we'll see. Maybe they end up losing this game because
I did see something. I mean, the Colts defense is a little bit better than people think, and I did see something that Kirk Cousins has been hit the most this year in the NFL, which that's not great. He's been a warrior through it, but he's been slammed. I also saw someone on Twitter talk about how this is the perfect allotment this weekend of NFL games, where I'm inclined to agree, where you get Thursday night game, you get 3 Saturday, you get 6 Sunday, and then your primetime games.
Yeah, so it's the first weekend. They do this every year that they don't have college football. They start putting the NFL on Saturday, which is great because they don't have to go up against I guess there's bowl season, but at that point people are tuning for their one game or whatever. So
Ravens +3 at the Browns. I don't even know the third string quarterback's name of the Ravens, but I think he's starting. Lamar maybe next week. Ravens getting +3. How do you got it, Bert?
Yeah, I mean, this is all based on who's going to end up playing, right? Because if Lamar ends up playing this game, +3 seems like a gimme. I just think that
I would say it's 90% plus he does not play.
Yeah, and I agree.
Maybe even 95%.
It just feels like there's a lot of practice going on in Cleveland right now. This is kind of a spot that it just seems like even with a backup quarterback, with Cleveland struggling like they are, and Baltimore, this being kind of a have-to-have-it game for them to stay in the hunt, or not in the hunt, but in the divisional lead. I kind of like them to surprise some people in this spot, so I'm taking Baltimore +3 here.
I'm going to take Cleveland -3 because, A, they could be literally facing the third stringer. B, the Browns, I think if they're smart, they're going to look at Deshaun's tape, and maybe the Browns are like, hey, we actually don't want to win games. We want Deshaun to just get acclimated to the NFL.
Yeah, but I think they want to win. I think that
they probably want one win at least for him.
Or they just want him to have legit reps. So they're going to have
the Browns are the most analytically inclined organization in the NFL. So it would not be shocking for them to take a long-term view and be like, actually, it's best that he just gets, experience against cover 2 and we're going to pass him back, whatever. But, if the Browns do want to win, I think they're going to keep it on the ground. I see Nick Chubb having a good game, even though it's easier to pass on the Ravens. So give me the Browns -3 at home. Moving on, Dolphins at Bills. The Dolphins are laying 7.5 on the road after getting beat by the Chargers. I think this line was probably going to be closer to like a 4.5, a 4, if that game doesn't happen the way it does. But give me the Bills minus 7.5. The Dolphins have not been able to move the ball on good defenses. The Bills D, even though they lost Von Miller, has still been playing lights out. And especially their defensive line, which is the most predictive. Trey White played his first full game since injury. He's clearly not 100%. But, it's just big to get through a first game after an ACL. So I like the Bills to really give Tua fits. They should have won the last time they played, and they're playing in Buffalo. The only question is, like, how does weather play into this game? Because I think it could be crazy, but you would imagine that impacts the Dolphins a lot more, unless you can just hand the ball off to Tyreek. So give me the Bills minus 7.5.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row that I'd like to see the Bills come out on top, which is not usually the norm for me, but getting, Miami's got to lose this game. To win by 8 points against that team in a divisional game, it just seems unlikely. So I like Miami plus 7.5 here.
The other thing why I like Buffalo here is there's been a lot of talk about the Bills offense struggling, and you had some jackass in the media who later outed himself with the most misogynistic comment of all time. But some jackass in the media asked Josh Allen a question where he didn't ask a question, he just gave an opinion. He's like, I don't think this is an offense that can win a Super Bowl. And Josh Allen just says, okay.
I thought it was that
he just a heavy own of the reporter.
Oh, I must have misunderstood that because I thought it was he said, do you think that this is an offense that could win the Super Bowl? And Josh was just like, okay, this isn't.
No, he said I don't think this is an offense that can win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I said, okay. Which is a great response by Josh, very mature, and to not take the bait. Jerry Sullivan, he's a loser. He's a guy in Buffalo media who always asks negative questions. And then later went on a YouTube show with, I don't know, some random Bills thing. And obviously a lot of Bills people were mad at him for this question because they recognized it as bullshit bait. And I don't know, they were fielding questions, and a lady asked a question, and then Jerry says some asinine shit. He's like, women, they're more like cheerleaders. They shouldn't have it's this is a guy covering the NFL saying this shit for a team for the Buffalo News, and I'd be shocked if he was not fired. But
yeah, wait, so this is all live, in person, or this people?
No, this is on a YouTube, and people don't like him as is, so people were quick to jump on him, and rightfully so. He's what a fucking loser opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's unfortunate.
I mean, we don't, in the world doesn't need that type of journalism. The negativity sells. It's unfortunate, but it does sometimes. People want to be like, woe is me. It's not my type of media. Anyways, Eagles at the Bears. Eagles -9. Huge line. The question is really what's going to happen in garbage time here? How do you got it, Bert?
Yeah, I mean, I just think Chicago is not gonna give up their chokehold on the second draft position here. So Philly also just completely rolling. Can't really take their foot off the gas with the Dallas game kind of looming as well. So give me Philly -9 here.
I too am going to take Philly -9, and I think the only question, I'm just hoping that Hurts is motivated enough to be like, all right, Justin Fields, you think you're hot shit? I'll show you a real Justin Fields game and go nuclear. Because if the Eagles are content just to win up big, they're just sitting in coverage, then Justin Fields is going to move the ball pretty easily and potentially score. So, but I like the Eagles' chances. Pretty shocking line here. Cowboys -4.5 against the feisty Jags. This one is me, I believe. And so I'm going to take the Cowboys -4.5. Just going to take that. Even though I do think Trevor has looked great, the Dallas defense is a world different than the Titans defense that he just looked well against. The only issue with the Dallas is I believe they had some injuries in that game. Trayvon Diggs was banged up. Maybe like their safety was banged up, but hey, they still have Michael Parsons. So give me the Cowboys -4.5. Cowboys need to win too.
Yeah, it's just been this kind of Jacksonville roller coaster, and it feels like I've been wrong on every end of it. But
yeah, they're the team that keeps evading you.
Yeah, I mean, early in the season when people were like ready to jump on them, I think there was like 4 weeks in a row that I wasn't taking the bait, and they didn't cover at that time. And so, like, I don't know, I've been pretty good on them actually since the beginning of the year, but these last few weeks have been kind of tough. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like a game where Dallas comes out ready to go, kicks their teeth in. They're much better than Jacksonville. And so, yeah, I like the -4.5.
Yeah. So, I mean, some trappy lines. Vikings -4, Cowboys -4.5. Chiefs -14 against the Texans. This one is you.
Yeah, I mean, last week the 16.5 line seemed ridiculous, but still took it. I think that
Every
was
week, man, we have to pick these
like the
plus
best.
16, plus 14. How's the team going to play this week?
Yeah,
Texans look the best they have all year, and they didn't have Brandon Cooks, and they didn't have Nico Collins, their top 2 wide receivers.
Kansas City kind of letting Denver back in. I'd be surprised if they kind of let Houston hang around. I just can't not take an explosive offense like that to kick the shit out of the Texans. So I'm taking KC -14.
Give me Houston +14. Huge line. Honestly, I don't really like picking these double touchdown lines too much, but fuck it. Big line. They played motivated last week. Jeff Driscoll week, baby. Imagine fading the Driscoll. Jets at Lions, dude. This is a playoff type game. This is great offense meets great defense. Jets actually had Quinnen Williams go down, who is, a really good D tackle for the Jets, top 5 in the league. Don't know if he's going to be back. Lions have been rolling. Looks like DeAndre Swift got, I guess, banged up. Lost me a bunch of money in DFS. I thought he was healthy again. I knew he was popped up on the practice report, but anyways, the Lions also got Jameson Williams in. He scored a touchdown on like 1 target, 1 catch touchdown.
Jerry Sullivan was fired 2 hours ago, by the way.
Who was fired?
Jerry Sullivan.
Was he?
Yeah.
Good. Not shocking. The Lions, I'm expecting them to get Jameson Williams up to 30, 40% snaps, maybe even 50%. I went on the Swolecast, this fantasy football show I like, and I mentioned Jameson Williams, and I was laughed off the show. And then he scored a touchdown immediately to start the Sunday games, and people were going wild. But give me the Lions +1 here, man.
Wait, so what was it that people thought they were just they didn't think that he would?
They didn't think he would play because he barely played last week. It's his first game off of ACL, and I just he was going to be less than 1% owned. I was like, look, maybe he'll only get 10 snaps, but maybe
a lot of people feel
teams are random with this. Sometimes they just ramp guys up.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that Detroit took him because they've been so bad with receivers in the past. Talking about mid-2000s.
The Lions are sick, dude. I mean,
no. So obviously they got Calvin Johnson and all that, but there was a good.
If the Ravens,
where it was,
but if the Ravens transition tag Lamar, where you give up 2 firsts, the Lions would snap do that and go get Lamar to be with them. That'd be sick. Anyways, how do you got this one, Bert?
Yeah, I think you have to take Detroit here in a pick 'em, man. It helps that it's the Jets, but I'm going to be rooting for them. So I've taken them in a pick 'em, and they look great. And the Jets have, is Mike White even going to be right for this game? Who knows? So yeah,
Probably going to be Joe Flacco. I think if you are the Jets, you probably say, even though the Lions defenses were playing really good, you probably like your chances.
What do you think they're going to get for Zach Wilson in offseason?
Nothing.
You think they're just going to have to cut him and somebody will sign him off waivers or whatever?
Cut him, back up, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
maybe like a 7th, 6th round pick. Yeah. I mean, this dude's looking like what did Josh Rosen get when he was cut? Nothing.
Yeah, that was just, I don't know. It seems.
But I mean, the Jets are showing what happens when you're a perennial loser the past couple of years and you get all these top 5 picks and you hit them, because they got this sick defense. They were awful 2 years ago. They got the sick defense when they signed a guy. And then this year they hit on a couple draft picks in Breece Hall and Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. Like, they smashed the draft this year.
Yes,
Breece Hall obviously goes down, but it just shows you. And then they already had this like sick D line and they had all this money to sign an O line, but they had this sick D line from all these draft picks, and so it just shows you what you can get when you're like a perennial terrible team. And then
did they get anything for Sam Darnold?
No, like a third maybe. Like and then they're gonna get, they gotta imagine they either get like a Jimmy G type, whatever, better quarterback play. Mike White at least is in the mix. But if they get a quarterback, it's like watch out, because Garrett Wilson is legit. Like, he's legit already.
They also just need to switch over to those black helmets permanently. Like, the fact that they haven't gone to like those stealth bomber black helmets is just psychotic, because they look so much better in those.
Yeah, I mean, look for the Jets to make the playoffs next year. Maybe they get in this year. At Panthers, I think Kenny Pickett got concussed early in the game. Actually, what happened is he got concussed, went back in, and then immediately went back into the concussion protocol. So, terrible work from the concussion team this week in the NFL. They
fired the lead doctor for how Tua was handled this year.
I mean, they missed.
We are not even like, we're not even 3 months later. Players are going back in. Oh wait, no, get him back out.
I mean, they let this fiasco happen. They had Devontae Parker in there, and Nelson Aguilar had to like flail his arms for the Patriots game to get. But Nelson was looking at Devontae Parker and being like, "This dude ain't right," and so Nelson Aguilar had to like do some, like, he was like rolling on the ground to get the play stopped because the concussion spotter missed it.
Yeah, and it's also, it just shows how hard that job is too, because players are always going to be because they've just been conditioned that way. Like, keep me in.
The hit did look weird, but like, yeah, it was not. It's. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking for that.
It is. Yeah, and everybody on Twitter becomes a doctor of like, oh, like this or this or this, and knowing exactly what the second and third order effects are going to be. Like, sure. But I just think it's such a hard job to try and monitor that, but crazy that it played out like that after, it seemed like they were so delicate with it in the Tua after the Tua fencing fingers happened.
Yeah. Anyways, how do you got this one?
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh just seems like they're done for the year. Fans already kind of starting to call for Mike Tomlin's head, which Pittsburgh, I think, has had like 3 coaches in the last 60 years or something absurd like that. So I don't think Pittsburgh will actually do that, but Carolina is still kind of in this weird pseudo playoff position.
They're in this spot where no one actually wants the playoff spot other than the Bucks, because all the other teams, like, you're in this weird spot where you go from either a top 10 pick in the NFL draft or a playoff team.
Yeah. And also, like, winning your division really fucks up your draft status because I think you then jump everybody that doesn't make it, even if they have worse records than you.
Yes.
So it's this weird spot that nobody wants to be in.
Other than the Bucks, who the Bucks are like, no, we want that.
Remember, what did we? Carolina was trying to lose that game. How many ever weeks ago that was? A game that they scored to send the game to overtime on the last play of the game.
That's what.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I like Carolina here, man. It just, I know it's -2.5, and I really don't like this game at all because we don't really know the buy-in on the players or the coaches and what ownership is telling them. But
probably going to be Mitch Trubisky too.
Just seems like Carolina. Yeah, exactly. It just seems like Carolina is playing better now. So
I'm going to take the Panthers too, but they also, I don't think they're going to have DJ Moore, which like that's a pretty big hit. But you know, like just imagine taking the Steelers for any reason at all. Panthers been running the ball well without CMC. Okay, Falcons at Saints. We got a full card of games here. No buys this week.
Yeah, so they benched
this one's
Flying Hawaiian last week.
I think this one's me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they did bench Mariota for Desmond Ridder. I'm going to guess that Desmond Ridder is terrible, and they really did not want him to play. And so give me the Saints, -4.5, where please, God, give us Jameis, give us Taysom, give us anything but Andy Dalton off the bye.
See, I disagree, though. I think this is a prime Andy Dalton, like, still has it type of game, like in division, shows you what he's got. We know what he is, but for flashes, it turns out he can kind of take care of Atlanta. So, yeah, I like the Saints here too.
We'll go quick on the non-interesting games for a full slate. Patriots -1 at the Raiders. How do you got it?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just a must-win spot for New England, obviously. Vegas probably starting to get to the point that they're quitting on their season if they hadn't already. Hard to say that they did after, the past few weeks' performances. But, yeah, I just think New England comes in and they're already – I think they're staying out there because of the Arizona game, so it's not such a bad travel week for them. And then, taking care of Vegas, Belichick versus McDaniels. They lose this game. I mean, it's look out below. These are the two that they have to win in these last 5 of the season. So I like them here.
Give me the Raiders. +1. I mean, the Raiders actually have talented pieces, at least with Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. Hopefully the Raiders learned a lesson last week and they're like, fuck, just throw to Devontae Adams. The Patriots have been terrible against elite wide receivers. Justin Jefferson destroyed them. Stephon Diggs destroyed them. Mark Andrews, not really in that discussion, but he destroyed them. I think Hopkins and Hollywood would have had their way if Kyler was healthy. So give me the Raiders, +1.
Also an interesting game because, and maybe not interesting to other people, but typically teams in the preseason, you're not supposed to play teams that you're playing in the regular season in the preseason. Obviously, NFL teams pick who they want to play, but these guys did play in the preseason, which is not the norm. It's not a game that you don't normally play your preseason opponents in.
And you don't know for the Patriots, is Ramondre in? Is Damian Harrison? There's some questions.
Yeah, those injuries were pretty. I mean, all both sides. To lose your starting quarterback for 3 plays in.
Much more the Cardinals, but yes.
Well, I mean, we lost our number 2 receiver, our best running back. Somebody else went down too. Oh, I think Jack Jones. He's like our number 2 corner.
Yeah, the rookie. He's been having a good year.
It's pretty bad. But I don't think anything was as bad as a non-contact ACO.
No, this is the Colt McCoy show now. Cardinals versus Bet Ripken ? I don't know if it's supposed to be Russ.
He's in protocol, so it's not like.
Is that what happened? He got concussed?
Yeah, he's in protocol.
Okay, so he's out. We have not seen someone since Tua, really, maybe like one person, get concussed and then play the next week. So this will be the Cardinals, basically, and James Conner and co. versus this is gonna be the worst ugly game. But
Yeah, I mean, this is
give
right
me the
up there with-
Cardinals +3. I'm gonna take the points. I guess, yeah. I
that's
like.
right up there with Pittsburgh and Carolina.
I think that one's totally different than this one. Like how do you even assess a Brett Ripken versus Colt McCoy game?
Sam Darnold versus Trubisky is any better? I mean, that seems not that far off.
The Panthers have at least ran the ball well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Arizona here as well. Denver just real shit show this year. So there's my dad taking my dog out. Thank you, Dad. But yeah,
Bert?
it's Bert Senior. But yeah, I think I can't with any conscience take Denver. I think since week 6 probably.
Yeah, I know. You're just not taking Denver. But hey, Russ could not be out, And did you see Jerry Jeudy? Did you see what Jerry Jeudy did
3
last
touchdowns.
week? No, not that. He took off his helmet and screamed at the ref's face and then hit him with his shoulder.
Did he get booted for that?
No, I've not seen someone be more aggressive. Literally, I was wondering if Jerry Jeudy was going to punch the ref and not get kicked out. Credit to the ref for having tough skin, honestly.
Yeah, I mean that's
it was insanity. Let's see if I can find that.
This is the point with the Broncos though, is every fucking game is just a player having a conniption fit against somebody.
Okay. So here's Jerry Jeudy. First off, whips off his helmet. I don't know. Screaming in the ref's face. And bumps into.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen guys get kicked out for worse. Or for less.
You remember last year the guy accidentally got in front of the ref?
Yeah, he ran into it and they booted him. But who knows? Maybe that's one of the Jerome Boger.
Maybe the ref did not see Jeudy be heated. Was it if the ref saw the whole thing, that's an ejection.
Or he just didn't he kind of just turned into him. So I mean, I don't. But yeah, if that's Jerome Boger, he's probably out.
Bengals -3.5 at the Bucks. Confusing line, honestly. I am going. I think it's you actually.
Bengals Bucks. Yeah, I mean, love Brady, love him to death. Cincinnati's going to win this game, and pretty handedly. So yeah, give me Cincinnati -3.5.
I don't understand this line at all. The Bucks have a good defense. The Bengals have a good defense. They have Jamar Chase back. T. Higgins is banged up though, so maybe he won't play.
I heard fantasy managers were losing their mind
at T. Higgins. Yeah,
they pulled him off the whatever, and so people are throwing.
Well, because you're supposed to report injuries because there is money.
But he played it down, so it's.
I guess you don't have to report if it happens in pregame warmups.
Yeah, but he's
this is like getting rid of that QP tag because
he was physically on the field for a down though, so it's
no. I think he got aggravated in warmups though.
Yeah, but I'm just for them to say oh no, he wasn't. I mean, he did play, so.
Yeah, I mean, and he was questionable in practice or limited practice to end, but whatever. The Bengals are going to blow doors. Bengals -3.5. Next game, Chargers -3 versus the Titans. Give me the Chargers -3. Who, I'm a little surprised they're favored in some ways. On the other hand, Herbert should throw for 300 plus and 3 against this Titans D. Mike Williams could have a big day. The Titans might get back Treylon Burks, so that will help at least. But they've looked bad.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of covered this in the beginning. LA by all accounts, should they do well what the Titans do not. They should take care of them here, but Tennessee is just a better organization, better coached. I think that they win this game. I just like them in the spot, and I take Tennessee most weeks. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, +3 Tennessee.
ESPN released a poll or something for the most and least analytically inclined organizations on multiple levels. Can you guess some of the bottom? And
Well, I'm sure Mike Vrabel is not like
Titans number 1 least. Also in the discussion, the Steelers. This is not surprising. The team whose owner demanded they draft Najee Harris in the first round.
okay. Well, I see a Super Bowl winner and an AFC Championship participant.
Great. Yeah, he got lucky a while ago. It's a new NFL. They lucked into this like rookie quarterback situation. That's not happening too much in the NFL anymore, where if you're dumb and you don't prioritize, and we're going to see, we've seen it more and more. We're going to see it like no other, where teams are going to prioritize the wide receiver in the draft.
Yes.
Because
Drafting
they're going to look at the Bengals. They're going to look at the Eagles. I've been saying a long time. And if you don't have the elite wide receivers, you're not a real threat in the NFL.
Drafting a running back before like the 25th pick, fireable offense to me. Unless
Breece Hall was a difference maker, but
no, but unless it's like, hey, they're going to play wide receiver as well, but even
Le'Veon Bell, the only guy, Eckler.
Yeah, but Eckler was undrafted. This is my point about the running back, or maybe not undrafted, but went in the later rounds.
No, of course you should. You almost never should.
These guys are like, look at Dameon Pierce.
But every year the discussion comes up because it's going to be, well, what about Bijan Robinson, Bijan or whatever that guy is. Anyways, let's get out of here. 2 more games. Giants at Commanders, a playoff game. Commanders -4.5. Carson Wentz off IR to back up Heineke. Giants can't catch a cold recently, just trotting out an uninspiring team. How do you got it?
Commanders, man. I mean, they've got 2 quarterbacks. New York doesn't even have one. And that's all like obviously being kind of sarcastic, but Giants are reeling, Commanders are peaking. Give me Washington.
Yeah, I'm going to take Washington too. I don't really know how you confidently choose the Giants to do anything. I want the Lions to get that playoff spot though, so Commanders got to lose eventually. Last one, Rams +7 at the Packers -7. Baker Mayfield going to be coming off of long rest. At least he's going to be installed with the team. But I'm going to take the Packers.
Yeah.
-7.
No, it's such an Aaron Rodgers game to have this shitty team all year and then come in and beat up on a crappy opponent on Monday night. I feel like he probably wins this game and probably does it in vintage Aaron Rodgers style. People are like, see, he still got it. And nobody's going to even consider that he just completely gutted his roster with a $500 million contract. And, let's and not that there's anything wrong with that. He should be trying to get his bag as well. But give me Green Bay here. I think they take care of business.
DraftKings got to get this fixed for next week. All right. Well, that closes.
What? Because it has the Jags
and the Bengals for the Bengals Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page for. Well, you took Green Bay in that game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That puts us on the same page for these games. We are different on Chargers at Titans, Raiders at Patriots, Lions Jets, Houston Texans versus Chiefs, Dolphins Bills, Baltimore Cleveland. Fun week of NFL, man. I'm excited to rock these out. Your brother's going to be flying back into town.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that'll be. I'll hang out with him, watch these games. And good luck, everyone, this week who's betting the games. Go Bills. Bert, any closing thoughts here?
Yeah, just rest in peace to Mike Leach, who, for any college football fans out there, who just an epic football coach. never played past like high school, exactly what we all dream of doing that didn't play.
Went to law
past
school.
past like junior peewee or whatever. This guy was somebody that he's literally like the fan of football that just became ingrained in it and became a football coach. So super interesting guy, super funny guy. Loved him at Texas Tech. Loved him at Washington State, and then I really thought he was going to turn that Mississippi State program around as well. And it's just really tragic that he leaves behind his family, and just one of those stories that you kept expecting it to be like okay, and then you wake up this morning and he passed away. Not to get too heavy, but he was a very funny guy as well. So not that I knew him personally, but I just think he's a great football guy or mind for anybody that enjoys watching college and the NFL.
Yeah, guys, life is short. Tell your loved ones you love them. Take that risk you're worried to do, for sure. I didn't know, I don't watch college ball. I didn't really know Mike Leach much, but from the videos I saw today, he looked like a real character, and rip him. Sorry for his family.
Yeah, just go and watch the highlight of Graham Harrell to Michael Crabtree in like 2008, and that was like that game. Just a game I really wished I was at.
That's
This
right,
is my
Liam.
dad
That's right,
right
Liam.
here.
What's going on, Bert?
But everybody have a
all right,
good night.
guys. With that, I'm gonna say hi with the Berts backstage, and good luck this week. Peace.
All right, much love, guys. Bye.